Myanmar, welcome to Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Here are the latest news and reports. The National Library exhibits rare historical source materials. Next, city taxi registration enables Yangon Region to help establish rule of law. A story coverage on maintaining environment in Myanmar. And the last report on digital payment system and cybersecurity. Before we get to the reports, why don't we have a look at what's happening in local news. President Win Myint sent a message of greetings on the occasion of the 72nd anniversary celebrations of Kachin State Day. In his speech, the president said, quote, "After gaining independence in 1948 on the 10th of January at the first meeting of the Kachin State Council, the Kachin State government was formed, and to honor this day, the 10th of January was designated as Kachin State Day." He added, quote, "Kachin State is rich in valuable natural mineral resources such as gold, jade, and amber. It also has very beautiful and good natural environments. It is also the source of the great Ayeyarwady River, which is the lifeblood of our country. Development projects could not be carried out effectively in such a beautiful and resource-rich state because of the armed conflicts. However, development projects can be carried out effectively and successfully only if there is stability and rule of law." He concluded his speech by saying, quote, "In accordance with the democratic and federal common agreements obtained from the Union Peace Conference 21st Century Panglong, I wish to urge all Union citizens to work together in unity based on Union spirit to reach our goal of building the democratic federal union successfully, imbued with the essence of justice, freedom, equality, and self-determination." Chairperson of the Central Committee for Development of Border Areas and National Races, State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi held meetings separately with local leaders of religious organizations, ethnic representatives, town elders, and common people in Myitkyina, Kachin State on Thursday. At the meeting, the State Councillor emphasized confidence for securing peace essential for the country. U Po U, the town elder, affirmed the loyalty of Kachin people to the country. Dr. Tu Ja, another town elder, discussed possible return of internally displaced persons to their homes after the closure of IDP camps, migrant worker issues, and holding of the 2020 general election. Ula Bangam Aung, the vice chairman of Kachin National Consultancy Group, talked about anti-narcotic campaigns, loss of children, and economic development. U Ah Pue from the Lisu Literature and Culture Association asked to use the actual name of Lisu, and other dignitaries discussed development programs. Regarding the discussions, the State Councillor gave remarks on the requirements of signing nationwide ceasefire agreement for genuine peace, the efforts of the Ministry of Social Welfare, Relief and Resettlement on closures of IDP camps, and other issues presented at the meeting. According to traffic police, a total of 671 people died in road mishaps in Yangon Region in 2019. The number of deaths were higher in 2019 compared with the previous 3 years, according to road accident reports. In 2019, a total of 2,324 traffic accidents were reported in Yangon Region, which left 671 people dead and 2,667 others injured. Of the total accidents in 2019, 586 mishaps involved motorbikes, whereas 1,738 mishaps involved cars. Reckless driving, overspeeding, defective vehicles, and inclement weather were identified as the main causes of accidents on the country's roads and expressways. Meanwhile, the highway authorities have deployed more road safety police and have been providing 24-hour service for travelers since 2012 to improve traffic safety on the highways. Director of the Road Transport Administration Department, U Lien Sin Mang, said Form D slips have been issued to more than 500 people who deregistered their modified vehicles between October and December 2019. In accordance with Section 18E of the 2015 Vehicle Law, the authorities are sending modified vehicles to the traffic police for deregistration. U Lien Sin Mang said, up till now, the government has released some vehicles on sympathetic grounds, considering the hardship faced by the people. If vehicles are found with modifications in the body coach, Form D slips will be issued after they are deregistered, according to the RTAD. The RTAD has already informed the vehicle owners to contact the department. As of now, about 1.1 million vehicles are registered across the country and more than 540,000 are registered in Yangon. The world's biggest book sale, The Big Bad Wolf, made its second return to Myanmar at Myanmar Expo Hall, Fortune Plaza in Takeda Township of Yangon on Thursday. Widely known for its attractive discounts of 50% to 90% off recommended retail prices, the book sale will feature a diverse collection of books from different genres. The book sale opens to the public for 11 consecutive days from January 10th to the 20th, from 9 a.m. to 12 midnight. Entrance to the sale is free. That's all with the local news, and here's the first report on Myanmar Today. It's not every day that one can witness historical source materials which are as old as 100 years back. The exhibition happening at the National Library in Yangon displays rare evidence materials from different periods throughout history. The focus is on the collection of literary pieces, books, newspapers, and photos featuring Myanmar's old days. The exhibition is set to run for 3 days until the 11th, as well as featuring other activities at the soon-to-be-launched National Library of Yangon.
Myanmar possesses the most extensive historical source material in Southeast Asia. Yet, majority of the materials have not been properly maintained. Now the public can witness some of these historical evidences dating as far back as 7 through 8 decades ago. The exhibiting happening at the National Library of Yangon displays the rare evidence materials. The exhibition is set to run from January 9th to 11th. For more on the exhibition, Director General of Department of Historical Research and National Library, Wu Aomian, explained.
Before the National Library Yangon's officially launch, we have plans to put together all these exhibitions and events like this. The exhibition here showcases the rare historical source materials and evidences. The materials are as old as 70 to 100 years. The chronicles, Myanmar literature, inscriptions, laws, history of pagodas, books on Myanmar, language, district gazetteer, report, census are on displays.
Inscriptions, most of which were set up by the kings and the royal families and their court officials, as well as wealthy families, are the earliest surviving royal records. Most surviving inscriptions are from religious dedications and contain valuable historical material. They represent the primary extant historical record down to the 16th century. Inscriptions are considered most accurate of all Myanmar historiographic material because they are less susceptible to copying errors due to their longevity. Myanmar possesses the largest number of historical stone inscriptions as well as the most complete historical records in all of Southeast Asia. Moreover, inscriptions including bell inscriptions and stone inscriptions of Bagan, Penya, and Gongbang eras are displayed. The experts also present research paper findings under the title New Views, Fresh Finds. Early chronicles and palm leaf manuscripts are those written prior to the 18th century when national chronicles first emerged. Of the earliest chronicles, those of Bagan and early Inwa to early 15th century, whose names have been mentioned in inscriptions and later chronicles, only 2 supplementary chronicles from the late 13th and early 15th centuries survived. The rest of the early chronicles date only from the 16th century. Many of the early chronicles did not survive for a number of reasons. One of them is the earliest manuscripts prior to the 15th century were rare and extremely costly.
The landscape photos of Yangon, Mandalay, Amarapura, and Bamor, which are more than 100 years old, are also showcased at the exhibition. Also, the library pieces collected since the founding of the department, as well as the newspaper, farm, Pasapala period are also showcased. There are many newspapers and literature which are 50 years old and above. Also on displays are photos featuring Myanmar traditional costumes, the former Secretariat building, the Great Shirugom Pagoda, Sule Pagoda, and other ancient photos.
One of the visitors to the exhibition, U Ye Tui from Dinganjun Township, shared his experience.
I am very excited and overwhelmed to witness the evidence, photos, and literature of the Yadanabon era. The books are highly ancient. I am very happy and impressed with the collection of these materials. I would like to urge people, especially young people, to come and visit the exhibition. It is such a rare opportunity and a great opportunity.
The exhibition is set to be open to public from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. till January 11th. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on the National Library exhibiting rare historical source materials. All right, it's time now to check on the weather forecast in Myanmar. There's plenty of sunshine in Yangon, but bear in mind air quality will be unhealthy for sensitive groups during the day. Expect highest temperature of 32 degrees Celsius and the lowest of 16 degrees Celsius. In Naypyidaw, a pleasant weather with mostly sunny conditions during the day. Expect highest temperature of 31 degrees Celsius and the lowest of 14 degrees Celsius. It's a pleasant weather with mostly sunny conditions in Mandalay during the day. Expect highest temperature of 28 degrees Celsius and the lowest of 14 degrees Celsius. Well, we have another report coming up, and then we'll check on the stocks and currency exchange rates. Joint Secretary of Yangon Region Transport Authority, U La Aung, said city taxi service owners have placed emphasis on measures to register their taxis in Yangon Region, thereby resulting in contributing much towards the establishment of the rule of law. Yangon City Development Committee previously took overall responsibility for city taxi registration. In the time of All Private Bus Lines Control Committee, formerly known as Matata, its branch officers at the district level handled the move. Now, the YRTA has been assigned to perform a task of city taxi registration at a time when the new government comes into power. Mintuta reports.
City taxi service owners have placed emphasis on measures to register their taxi in Yangon Region, thereby resulting in contributing much towards the establishment of rule of law, said U La Aung, Joint Secretary of Yangon Region Transport Authority. Yangon City Development Committee (YCDC) previously took overall responsibility for the city taxi registration. In the time of All Private Bus Line Control Committee, formerly known as Matata, its branch office at the district level handled the move. Now, the YRDA has been assigned to perform a task of city taxi registration at a time when the new government comes into power. U La Aung, Joint Secretary of the Yangon Region Transport Authority (YRTA), said that
a total of 622 incidents occurred during 2017. We did for good of the public. Moreover, we help the organizations concerning rule of law and vehicles. There were 436 incidents in 2018 and 308 in 2019. That included a variety of incidents such as car accident, robbery, loss of personal belongings, and commuters' complaints. Having viewed this incident, the YRTA is putting emphasis on the city taxi registration. According to the registration numbers of YRTA, we have begun checks in cooperation with the Department of Road Transport locally known as Gangyana since November in 2019. Repeated registrations had to be cancelled. Now Gangyana's registrations becomes completely clear after checks are run. It was learned that there are 65,615 taxis registered till the end of December. Plans are underway to supervise the city taxis with the use of technological advances.
Unimo, Managing Director of Yangon Region Transport Authority (YRTA), said that
we are placing emphasis on buses. We have black box stages. It is of great importance in public transport. It can chase the buses. It is of post analysis. The data we receive are to be analyzed. Only if we can do like this will we be able to know how to make better in the future. We, the YRTA, is trying how to use technological advances and also discussing with international organizations in order to catch up with the international community.
Gradually, manual functions has been displaced by technological advances in the public transport system. Some emphasis is being placed on technological advances. The registration of city taxis can protect owners and drivers against unforeseeable dangers. It can also provide protections for the passengers. The YRTA is making concerted efforts to provide better conditions for the owners, the drivers, and the passengers. Utomenai, a taxi driver from Tanlian Township, told Emma Radio that
the drivers need to win the trust of the passengers. It depends on the drivers. I consider like that. If we have good attitude toward the passengers, they will have the same mind. I don't know about others. I have regular orders. I accept a bargain price if the first comer hires my taxi in the morning. I have to consider convenience both for the owner and me. It is almost as usual when we renew our city taxi license. Kanyana has made all city taxi register Yangon licenses. The taxis without Yangon licenses are running in Yangon. There are many taxis with Bago, Aori, and Kayin licenses running in Yangon. This causes traffic congestion in Yangon. The registration of city taxi is a good measure. I don't yet know what guarantees are coming.
That's a report on city taxi registration enabling Yangon Region to help establish rule of law. And now we have an information on currency rates from Myanmar Central Bank. $1 is at 1,465 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 211 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,629 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,918 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,084 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 358 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 48 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 20 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,547. Silver is at $17, and Brent crude oil is at $59. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI is at 11,000. MTSH is at 3,850. MCB remains at 8,100. FPB is at 23,000. TMH went up 100 and it's at 2,900. You're with MR Radio's Myanmar Today. You can log on to our website at miradio.com.mm and catch many other great programs of MI Radio on the website. We're also running on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. Alternatively, you can download our app on both iOS and Android platforms. It's easy to search. Just type in Myanmar INTL Radio and you'll find the app. Download it on your devices so you can listen to our radio programs on the go. Stay with us as we bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Myanmar is naturally a rich country with large scale of forest and natural resources, and extraction of these natural resources is also playing an essential role in the economy of the nation. However, conservation of the environment is not at its best when it comes to preservation. Therefore, strict law to make sure that Myanmar preserve its nature well needs to put into action, which can be done with the collaboration between the government and other organizations. Willison has the details.
Myanmar is one of the most forested countries in Asia, and it's home to some of the world's most biologically significant forest landscapes. However, health of many wild population depends on the ability of animals to move across large area of land to produce or to find food and shelter. Human impacts such as deforestation, agricultural expansion, and infrastructure development can threaten many species by limiting their ability to successfully move across landscapes. Careful planning of wildlife corridors can help limit these impacts to wildlife population and allow for better coexistence of biodiversity and economic development. Some of the most challenging issues for proper environmental conservation are deforestation, urban area development, and other infrastructure, and unsystematic mining of natural resources. The first international conference on environmental and sustainable development was held on 9th of January 2020 at Sule Shangri-La Hotel in Yangon, where several environmental scholars from both Myanmar and international are invited to have presentation about environment and sustainable development in Myanmar, which is very much necessary for Myanmar. Speaking to MI Radio, Go Nanda, the chairman of Myanmar Environmental Assessment Association, said,
Today we have prominent guest speakers from abroad and within Myanmar, where we have discussion on environmental conservation through the research papers, which is really important in the process of preserving the environment. We exchange each other knowledge, and we also exchange knowledge on the trending technological system for the conservation purpose. Another important aim is we want to pass on all these knowledge to the younger generation to make them understand more about the value of professionalism and provide them a platform to learn more about the environmental conservation.
Though Myanmar has increasing number of deforestation and a high number of other natural resources extraction all over the country, it has less effective system of protecting the environment, though the government recently accelerated its work on the issue of preserving the environment. Speaking on why many people in Myanmar are not well aware of following rules and regulations when it comes to preserving the nature, Go Nanda also said that it is not about people, but there's a long way in educating the people in awareness of preserving the nature. There are 5 steps in environmental regulatory cycle which must be followed, but so far only the first 2 steps can be implemented so far. Speaking on how far poorly maintained environment in Myanmar can bring negative impacts to the people, Go Nanda also said,
One of the most remarkable impacts which we have from improperly maintained environment is we have already experienced climate change, and Myanmar has a high percentage of getting the impacts of this climate change. After all, we human beings are left without no choices but suffer for what we have done, not preserving the nature. And if we don't make changes to this issue, then we will soon have no guarantee on the health of the public. This is the reason we are also collaborating with the government to draft a bill for maintaining the nature at the national level. We all must stand together to contribute something for a change, and if we are to do that and follow all the rules and regulations set by the government, we can at least reduce the amount of natural hazard which occur due to climate change.
In Myanmar, any investor have to follow environmental standards described in Myanmar Environmental Conservation Law and international standards, but also carry out them in accordance with the existing laws. This is Williamson for MI Radio.
That's a report on maintaining environment in Myanmar. And here's the last report on digital payment system and cybersecurity. Myanmar Payment Union, MPU, and cybersecurity solutions provider RITS have signed the agreement for advanced cybersecurity system in digital payment. Since digital payment platform is widespread, the issue of information security becomes a priority. DJ Zin has the details.
Signing ceremony is ready to start now. I would like to request each and every one of Cybersecurity is one of the issues that challenge the businesses in safeguarding the most valuable assets and customer data. With the ease of mobile access, online financing is getting developed in Myanmar. One of the risks of the companies providing digital payment service is the cybersecurity to ensure the safety of the user's finance. Understanding the challenge to enhance the cybersecurity of cashless financing, Myanmar Payment Union (MPU), which is the Financial and Banking Services Corporation, has brought the agreement with RIS, which is the cybersecurity solutions provider. The engagement was supported by Myanmar Information Security Association (MISA).
Digital
payment system in Myanmar has been being widespread, and it has both advantages as well as risks. In digital financing, the payment needs to be secure, accurate, confidential, and save time. For this, cybersecurity awareness plays an important role. For our association, we support any activities, projects, or engagements enhancing security services and security assurance. This is a project of the engagement between the local service companies. In our country, we need the professional locals to involve in cybersecurity projects like international standard. We have three pillars as Myanmar Information Security Association. The first is to give awareness of cybersecurity because there is high rate of using digital system. The second pillar is to promote the cybersecurity professionals. Finally, our association aims to enhance the policies and procedures of international standard.
Uzo Lintu, Chief Executive Officer of MPU, explained how to make secure in digital payment platform.
Even though we don't see any hacking or attacks in digital payment platform in Myanmar till now, we need to prepare ahead to safeguard our system. On the other side, the users must have the knowledge of not giving their own passwords to others. They also need not to believe any other outside sources asking for their security data and information if they're not using the services of that source.
The
digital payment can be seen as numbers or digits, but in fact it's money. The companies are providing the digital payment service must have secure system in order to protect the financing of the users. When the digital financial system started in Myanmar, there were weaknesses such as plain password. When connecting with mobile devices for financial transfer, the password system is getting advanced now. As a consumers, they need to be aware as well as the providers have to give the safe service.
One of the reasons making people hesitate to use digital financing is the security of money and personal information. So the service providers are striving to advance the security system to reduce the risks of cashless payment and transfer through digital platform. At the same time, the users must have the knowledge of cybersecurity to keep the password safe. That's all for now. This is Dora Suisin from MI Radio.
That's all the reports on Myanmar Today. Time to look at the world through the international landscape now. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying announced on Friday, at the invitation of Myanmar President Wu Win-myint, Chinese President Xi Jinping will pay a 2-day state visit to Myanmar on January 17th and the 18th. In other news, explosions have been reported in Baghdad's Green Zone, where the US and other countries maintain their embassies. Reports say 2 or 3 rockets landed, but there are no reports of casualties. Less than 24 hours before, Iran fired missiles at bases housing US forces in Iraq. But the message from the White House and Tehran seems to be one of de-escalation.
As we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime. These powerful sanctions will remain until Iran changes its behavior.
We must remain vigilant in the face of serious threats posed by Iran. Apparently, these strikes did not kill or wound Americans, but they demonstrate the significant progress Iran has made over the last decade in building a large, long-range, and accurate ballistic missile force.
Canadian intelligence indicates the Ukrainian plane was shot down by an Iranian missile. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that finding during a press conference Thursday. He added that the downing, quote, may well have been unintentional. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson released a statement Thursday saying British officials have come to the same conclusion. Both Johnson and Trudeau are calling for a thorough investigation into the crash. There were 63 Canadians on board the Boeing 737 plane. 3 British victims have been identified. Media reports quote US officials as saying Iran fired Russian SA-15 surface-to-air missiles.
The evidence indicates that the plane was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile.
Well, I have my suspicions. It was I don't want to say that because other people have those suspicions also.
Well, that's a wrap, and thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin, and have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you again on Monday. Goodbye now.